Hi everybody. Today is May 29th, 2024. I'm gonna go over some names that I wanna keep an eye on. So for now I have Apple, Enphase, Robinhood, Netflix, Roblox, Shopify, Uber, and I will mention probably a couple of other names in which I have some positions. Anyways, let's start with Apple. Again, as per usual, I base my day trading and swing trading on the 1 day chart, and then I move my way down into these time frames, where if it's 30 minutes or 1 minute, depends. But well, let's get into this. This is not financial advice. This is just my opinion on how I see trading. If you see any utility on this, well, that's great, but make your own research and your own decisions when you decide to trade or when you invest. Anyways, so we have Apple right here. What I see here is the play that I mentioned a few days back still there. I believe that we can keep actually going down. What I think about Apple is that we still have an overextension on the MACD and the TSI. We have to take a look at this level right here. Then I guess we can consider a support level at this point. We can also consider this a resistance level, since being 1, 2, 3, 4 candles on the daily chart that couldn't actually break. So considering how extended these indicators are, I do believe that at the least we're gonna go to 187, and then we can assess if this starts breaking down and going towards, I guess, 180. If we get to 180, then we can actually start the conversation about filling this gap. But for now, I think I'm just gonna focus on this level, and if it breaks, I'm probably gonna have a short position on Apple. But for now, I'm just gonna keep an eye on this range. I don't think I wanna go long on this. I don't have any positions on Apple, but I don't think that going long would be something that would I wanna actually I would feel it's a little bit risky considering what I'm seeing here. So that's what I have on Apple. Enphase. I forgot to mention Enphase on yesterday's video, but here we are. So what I mentioned a few days back was, and I did draw this this arrow, and you can see that on X. I did mention this before, and what I see here is, or what I think it would be optimal, is having this price action losing a little momentum and hitting this resistance, the support level, I'm sorry, and then retest and then going up. That would be great. What would happen here, it would give a little bit of time for the indicators to cool down a little bit. That I think that would be great if we see this kind of behavior on the price action. Would be optimal. You can tell here that sellers were still in charge, even though this is a green candle. It is not the best candle you want to see. So let's see if this goes down. If it breaks this level, this support level, then just keep an eye on the SMA 35 and see if it bounces back up from there. But for now, I think this is still in play, which is waiting for this possible retest and see if it's gonna move on the way back up. I really wanted to buy some call options here, but I totally dropped the ball. I forgot about this name and I just didn't do it. So I'm just waiting to see if there's any retests, any higher volume, and see the behavior of the price action. But still pretty interesting, at least for me. Now another name that I mentioned was Robinhood, and this is actually playing the way I was predicting back on, I think it was on this day, on the 24th, and I actually have it here, which I mentioned on May 24th, that this could be happening, and it's actually happening that way. So let's wait well, there's nothing to wait. I'm looking at is this. I think it's 20. What level is this? 2021, and see if it breaks and it keeps going up. I don't think the MACD and the TSI are overextended. The RSI, it's okay. Maybe a little retest here, or maybe a little rejection and then going back up. That would be actually better. But just keep an eye on this. One thing that I don't like too much is how the EMAs are behaving, but at the end of the day, that could be pretty relative as well. So just keep an eye on this level, 2121, see if it breaks. And if you're gonna probably have a day trade on this, it might make sense just to keep to buy if it breaks, a quick call and then sell probably the same day. That's something I would probably do if I play this game, this name. But for now, I'm just seeing this play. I knew it was, well, I didn't know, but I was assuming that there could be a retest, which happened, and then it went up. And those are the best moves. This has room for more, so keep an eye on Hood. I think it's a pretty good name. The best entry, which is easy to say at this point, for me right now would have been on this candle right here. And the reason why is because we will be coming out of this cross on to the signal line, which is here on these two indicators. So that would tell me this is actually good, and then probably wait and see how this behaves and wait for breaking this level and sell on this area. But I didn't do it. I wasn't looking at Robinhood back then, and now that I guess I cut it somewhere in this area, my thought was let's wait for a retest, and it actually happened. What is next? Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix, because it's also playing out the way I was thinking it could play out. I think this has room to go up to 690, no problem. And why 690? Because if we go to the weekly chart, we can see that 690 is right here where these two candles are. Actually higher than that, you can go to 700, but I would play to 690 for now. It definitely has room. We are at 640, 654, and it is playing out the way I was mentioning. I was talking about Netflix somewhere around here, actually here, man, and I didn't. Well, this is a little bit frustrating, right? But I didn't buy any calls or anything, but I was mentioning Netflix back in the beginning of the month, somewhere around here between the 3rd and the 6th, and I just didn't do anything. I made a video and I made some posts on X, but I didn't take any positions, which now that I'm looking at the chart is kind of like a bummer. But we did predict going up to 605. Then it started ranging right here, so I left it alone for a couple of days, and then when it started moving back up, what I was saying is that it's probably gonna break 635, and then it would be optimal to retest and go back. It is actually happening, but I'm not gonna lie, now that I'm looking at things, it's a total bummer that I didn't catch or I didn't trade here in this area. It was pretty obvious. And I think I was talking about this, the behavior of the TSI with a MACD, because Microsoft and Meta were doing the same somewhere around here too. So Microsoft on the 3rd as well was doing the same thing. So it wasn't Meta, it was Microsoft, and the 3rd on the 6th was doing the same thing as Netflix on the 3rd and the 6th. Okay, well, I didn't catch it. I did get on Microsoft, and I think I was somewhere around here, and I sold around here, something like that. I don't know. But I was on Microsoft a few weeks back. Next, I have Roblox. I did buy some calls on Roblox today. The reason why is because of this behavior again. I see that TSI and the MACD moving up And then what I also like is, and we have this lack of liquidity in this whole area, and I feel like Roblox, at least for now, is pretty solid. My calls are green. I bought calls that are expiring in July 5th, I believe, and my price target was 36 or so, something like that. So, or maybe 35, I don't know. But they were cheap enough for me to feel comfortable, and I just bought them. I have until July to make any decisions. Obviously, I'm not gonna wait until July. I'm probably gonna sell within the next week, or probably before that. But I do think that there is room for this. It's one of the few names that were at least on the green on my watch list. So I like Roblox. I'm gonna keep an eye on this, obviously, because I have a position and because I like the chart, and I will keep you updated on what happens here. Another one that I have a position and I want to start, obviously, keep an eye on is Shopify. So we do have this support level at 55.71. I like the fact that the candles are starting to move the same as these two indicators are moving. So we might see some green coming up. I like the fact that we have this gap right here, but we now have to just make sure that the price action keeps going up towards the 61 price range. So we'll see. I do have options here. They are actually, I bought, I think it was on Thursday or Friday of last week. So they are red. I am minus 10% or something on this. I think on Friday they were like minus 30% or something, but now they're like, they recover pretty nicely. These are June calls, so I'm not too worried. But if this actually starts turning or getting weaker, because it's still kind of weak, I'm just gonna sell. And it wouldn't be a big loss considering the other wins that I had this week. So I'm keeping an eye on Shopify. I'm not 100% pumped with how this is moving. I think it still look weak, and I don't like that. So I might sell by the end of the week, or if this actually keeps going green, then I will hold and see how that behaves by next week as well. Shopify, Uber. I noticed this on Uber today. So we have divergence here with the RSI and the price action, and you can be, I guess, more fair if you just put it pretty much on the same time frame. So there are two things that I like about this. You have this support level. We'll see if it's gonna break or keep going down. But what I like about this is how neutral the MACD is and the TSI is. And if you really zoom, they're starting to go up a little bit because of this day. You had a pretty nice, decent compared to other names, green day, and I see this divergence here. So I want to see the behavior here within the next 2 days or so. Tomorrow is Thursday. I think by Friday we might have a better idea, unless tomorrow you have a good day with momentum. But I like Uber. I like what I see. It's not unreasonable to think that this could actually turn into a bullish move that I don't know for how long it will last. I don't swing for over weeks. I swing for days. So I'm just gonna wait and see how that works. So a couple of other things that I wanted to mention. I mentioned that I was on Shopify, and a couple of weeks back I did buy Starbucks, and I bought it because of this. Again, the MACD and the TSI, they're starting to move pretty dramatically here, and so I did buy. I think I bought some calls in one of these candles, then it went up and I sold on this candle because I think it was on this candle or this candle, but let's say I sold in this candle at a profit, And what I didn't, wait a second, this one was 3%. So I did sell at this one somewhere in the middle of the day. I didn't catch the whole move. And, I was already pretty green and I like my profits. So I was like, I'm just going to get out. And actually, what I'm seeing here is one of those things that doesn't play out the way you want, because normally you would want to see these indicators, like these three indicators, the AMA and the MACD and the TSI, moving kind of like in the same way or the same kind of behavior. So I think that now on Starbucks, I'm just going to wait again. And I think it's going to be a pretty similar move that we had in the past with Disney. I just don't want to get too deep into this, but where is Disney? Back in the day, Disney had this kind of moves and ended up going up. So I'm just going to keep an eye on Starbucks, but I'm definitely not getting into it. I do have a position on a firm. It is paying so far. These are June puts. These are going great. I sold my position on Celsius Holdings. I don't regret it. I sold somewhere in the bottom of this candle, so that was pretty good. But I actually think that this has more room to go down to 68. And then I also got, where are you? Carvana. Carvana is still in play. Chances are that it's going to go down to 90 at least. And considering that there is low volume here, it had a flat day pretty much today. So I'm still green on this. And these are June puts as well. So that's pretty cool. And another thing that I wanted to mention really quick is Salesforce. They had a pretty bad report today. And, sometimes I feel like most people have no idea what Salesforce is or what they do. I mean, if you own a business and you need some sort of client management, of course, you know what Salesforce does. But what I think happens with companies like this is that now they are not the innovators anymore. There are a bunch of CRM companies that are way cheaper than Salesforce, and they provide the same kind of service, just the same as Jira, for example. Jira was pretty good 6 years ago. Today, there's a bunch of companies doing the same. So if companies like CRM or Salesforce don't innovate anymore, you're going to see these kind of reactions in the market. So here we are. I didn't even have this Salesforce in this watch list, but I'm going to keep it here in case something interesting happens. You're going to have a pretty, let's go to the 4 hour. So you're going to have a pretty nice gap going on, and it's probably going to move up sometime in the next week or so. So I'll just keep an eye on CRM. That's all I have